guys, what's up? This is Millie here. Last week I put together a video on how you can pack for your cruise. It was the first time I've done something like that, and I hope it was useful to you. It's not your usual 3-minute video. It was actually 20 minutes long, and I know that's a really long duration for a video, but the whole purpose of me putting together these videos are so that you have that information, so that that information can be of use to you, rather than just putting together a 3-minute video for my channel. So I hope it has been helpful, and if it has, please let me know, so that if I do go on other holidays where I can put together such videos, it's just gonna be motivation for me to put that together. Anywho, for today's video, this is going to be my usual travel tips videos, the ones that I do at the end of each trip once all the videos are up. So this is going to be my very last video on the cruise vacation that I went on. It's been a long ride, and this is actually going to be the last video on that cruise. I've said this many times that it was the first time I went on a cruise, and as much as I thought I knew what was going to happen or I was prepared for it, the short story is I was not. So I've put together 5 tips based on my experiences, and if you've not ever been on a cruise before and are thinking of going on one, these will be of use to you. And if you've been on a cruise before, even better, just because you might have some tips of your own, and I urge you to share those in the comments below or across my social media platforms so that other people can also get those tips. So without further ado, let's get started. Tip number 1, your onboard experience. So the cruise and the vessel that you're on is basically your home for the week. Now, a cruise is a very different kind of holiday from, when you go to a particular city, you go and check into the hotel, leave your stuff, go out and about, exploring the city at your own time and pace, and you come back home every day, or whatever it is. You can do a whole bunch of activities whilst you're out and about. Compared to that, a cruising holiday is very different. And I know a lot of you are probably going, well, duh. But I will explain what I mean by that during the course of this video. So the duration of your cruise is sort of divided into sea days and land days. The crew on board go through extreme lengths to make sure that you have the best holiday possible. And in doing so, they put together a lot of entertainment, a lot of activities, a lot of things that's going on board, and it gets really overwhelming when every little activity captures your interest and you want to go and experience it all. So how do you plan your day? The best way to plan your day is by using the itinerary the stateroom attendants leave in your room for you. This itinerary is actually for the next day. But the day you board your cruise, you will have your itinerary for that day already present as you enter your room. This itinerary has all of the activities and all of the entertainment and all that's going on board listed. What I suggest to you is to grab a pen, scan all the activities that's going on, and then mark the ones that grabs your interest and make sure you know where it's happening. That way, when you do go to it, and it may be something that didn't capture your interest, you've got it with you. Keep your itinerary with you so that you can then go to whatever else that's also going on at that time that captures your interest. It is very essential that you carry your schedule with you so that you can make the most out of your day on board. Every person in the room gets a schedule, so there really is no reason for you to not carry this with you. It's not compulsory that you carry it with you if you just want to go relax by the pool and stuff, but it's good to have it with you just in case you would like to go check out maybe a show or maybe an activity, and if that didn't capture your interest, then you can go to whatever else is playing at that time that then takes your interest. And also, because cruise ships are big, getting from one point to the other can take a lot of time. As such, the popular shows or the popular activities don't overlap, but there will be times when you might like more than one thing at the same time, and you have to make the decision as to which one you want to go to. This is basically your sea day or sea days, how you would manage them. During land days, when your ship's docked at a port, you really don't want to be on board. I mean, they might put together small activities or things like that, but mostly, you want to go out on shore and check out the city and explore the city you're in. Maybe do a shore excursion. You can by all means just walk around the city as well. But the point is, when you're docked, you want to see the city. You don't want to be on board. Tip number 2, your Sea Pass card. Your Sea Pass card is a very important card that needs to be kept glued to you at all times, whether you're on board or whether you're ashore. This needs to be with you. You get your Sea Pass card as you're boarding onto the ship. The Sea Pass card actually contains a lot of sensitive details, such as your full name. When you're boarding the ship, they'll actually take a photo of you and insert it into your card, so that when people on board scan it, they know it is you and it is your card. It's also got sensitive details like your date of birth, your nationality, etc. And on board, if at any point you think you've lost your card or you think it's stolen, make sure you report it to the help desk immediately so that they can cancel out your card and issue you a new one. The reason this card is very important, it's because it is in a lot of ways your identity on board. It is also the key to your room. When you go on board and you're going to different cafes and different restaurants and ordering drinks and things like that, this card is what you give to the attendants so they can scan it, and all of your transactions go onto this card. What you then do is, after a few days, you go and clear out your bill so that whatever you've purchased is all accumulated on that card, and if someone else has that card or you think it's been stolen, they can just as easily do that. During land days, it acts as an identity card when you're wanting to come back on board, because they have a barcode that they'll scan as you're entering onto the ship. During a land day, in case you've forgotten to take your Sea Pass card, you will need either your license or a passport or some sort of a photo ID to get back on board. There will be especially the Alaskan cruise, because we do cross the border to go into Canada on some of the offshore excursions, you are expected to carry your passport. So if you do have your passport with you, you can use that to get back on board. However, on days that you don't really need to carry your passport, or just carrying your passport in general can be cumbersome, it's just easier to carry the Sea Pass card. Tip number 3, wine and dine. Yes, this is me trying to be sophisticated and not say that once you're on board, you're constantly hungry and thirsty. Being on board can genuinely make you very thirsty. On the day you board your ship, there'll be 2 bottles of water in the room, one for you and one for whoever is sharing the room with you. But after that, it is up to you to go grab yourself bottles of water each time. In a hotel, usually you'd get like a top up of complimentary drink bottles once the hotel attendants have come and like cleaned up the room. But it's not like that on a cruise. You'll have bottles of water on the first day, but after that, all you have to do is go to a cafe, give them your Sea Pass card, and they'll give you bottles of water. In terms of other beverages, it really does depend on what beverage package you have signed up for. I believe as such everyone has the basic beverage package. I don't know the different categories, but what this beverage package is that drinks up to a certain amount is sort of included as part of your beverage package. So you pay a certain amount and certain drinks are already included. So the more expensive your beverage package, the more expensive drinks that are already part of it. It's not to say that you can't order drinks outside of it. You can, it just means you pay extra for it rather than the amount you would have to pay for drinks that's already part of your beverage package. If it's part of it, you don't actually pay anything extra. Tip number 4, Wi-Fi. Now, in today's day and age, I know it's really difficult to be anywhere without any Wi-Fi connectivity because you constantly want to check emails, you constantly want to post photos, whether it be on Instagram or Facebook or wherever else, you want to be connected. But on a cruise, it's not as easy. If you are someone who prefers to use data on roaming, I went to this cruise from Australia with an Australian number, and I could hardly connect to data on roaming just because we were in the middle of the ocean. My brother, who was traveling from America and has an American number, was still able to use his phone a lot more, but that too, it was very sporadic. This is going to be one of those situations when I say that, you know, if you really don't need connectivity, don't bother with it. Just because, well, there are Wi-Fi plans available on board, but they're very expensive. On celebrity cruises, you can choose from a per hour plan, per day plan, or an entire duration plan. I'm sure other cruise lines will be something similar. So the entire duration plan literally sticks around for the entire duration, but as the days decrease, you know, the duration plan also decreases, but the cost remains similar or same or of the same expense. When you are on a cruise, you know, I'm going to say it again, it's a very different holiday. You want to be able to experience everything that you have at hand. You want to be out on the decks because you don't actually know what you'll see. Unless you're out on the deck, you won't get to see a graceful humpback whale coming up, taking a snout and then going back down, or an orca, or whatever else that lives in the ocean, or a magnificent sunset, or if you're up early enough, the sunrise. There's so much that's going on the cruise that you just want to experience that. And so this is one of those times that I would recommend that you disconnect with Wi-Fi and connect with nature. It'll be worth it all, I promise you that. Tip number 5, daily routine. In case you didn't get my drift, going on a cruise is a very different holiday. With the cruise, especially, you need to be okay with waking up early on a daily basis or sleeping late on a daily basis. In last week's video, I talked about the day the cruise enters the Tracy Arm Fjord, and you need to be up by 5, well, not even up by 5 a.m. You need to be up by 4 a.m. and on the decks by 4:35 to really experience, you know, entering the Tracy Arm Fjord and seeing the spectacular sunrise. And I know I've overused that little clip so many times, but trust me, there's only so much a camera can capture. I can vouch for this by saying that going on a cruise is really not a holiday where you go on to, you know, catch up on sleep. But regardless of the late nights and early mornings, I can tell you 100% you will come out rejuvenated and ready to go for whatever work is lined up for you, or uni, or whatever it is. It is definitely something that brings you out a better person. So these were my 5 tips on if you are planning on going on a cruise, and I hope it's been helpful. It would be great if you could like the video and let me know if these sorts of videos are turning out to be helpful, just because I can make more of them. If you have any tips, please leave them in the comments below or connect with me on my social media. My links are in the description below, and I will see you guys next time.